Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the RDA. This is the big preview for the weekend. Manchester United versus Liverpool. And you know what, I'm just gonna get this out of the way now. If somebody guaranteed me Ollie was to get sacked if he lost against Liverpool this weekend, I am taking the L on my chin. I'm putting hand on my heart. You know, I love United. I'd never usually want them to lose against Liverpool. It's been as bad as it's been the last few seasons since we've been doing Derby. No matter what team it is, I've always said I want to beat Liverpool. And obviously, there's no guarantee. Fabrizio said that this Liverpool game is going to have a huge impact on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job. But I don't, for some reason, this is one time I don't believe Fabrizio Romano. Because I think that if we lost against Liverpool, I don't think Glazers would care. I think we need to lose like every single game, and some would say maybe that's also another reason. And then it's like we're getting to this area now where we have to want Oli to lose 3 games in a row because we still know that he might lose this game, but then win one, then lose one. And at the end of the day, he's still not going to be good enough to win the Premier League, the Champions League at the end of the day. So it's very, very weird at the moment in the fan base. Very divided, very mixed. So we're going to get into everything. This team, predictions, the tactics, combined 11. So smash a like, subscribe if you're new. Also, I've got some very interesting Bruno Fernandes comments that I thought personally were very interesting, and I just don't know how it hasn't been picked up a lot. So I'm gonna get into that. But yeah, gentlemen, how are you before we get into the show?
I'm good. I'm good. It's hard to be upset after such a vibrant win, to be honest. Like, of course, you want Ole out. No,
He's
no way, no way,
ready.
no way.
He's
No, it's not gonna
converted.
happen. Of course, you want Ole out, but like, did you guys see that game? And like, it's just hard to be upset after such a performance,
I've been watching the
as in that
highlights on
second
repeat.
half. So yeah, I do think Fabrizio is spicy. I do agree with you there. I think there's no way in hell if he loses the Liverpool game they're firing him. And I think, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Look, like as much as I want Ole gone, like it's hard for me not to be like, I just want to see Ronaldo score, and then we beat Liverpool 1-0,
You know
and
how
the Scousers
badly
go
I
home
want
crying.
that moment.
So yeah, we'll see,
Badly.
we'll see. But it's gonna be an exciting game.
Claire?
I'm the only one that just couldn't care about the last result. I feel we're in a bad position with our manager at this time, and it's always just going to be papering over the cracks. It's always going to be that kind of mentality right now. Of course, I want us to win against Liverpool. There's no doubts about that. It's Liverpool. I'm like you. I enjoy the rivalry. It's one of my favorite games of the season normally. But I'm kind of with you. If it means Ollie's getting the sack, I'm taking this all on the chin and I'm going to move on. It's as simple as
But
that
it's
right
not
now.
guaranteed, is it?
Yeah,
I think we lost at
it's not.
Atalanta. The loss
Yeah,
this weekend was done for Oli. So
yeah. There will just be a matter of time to when they appoint a new manager. That's all it would be. But if you haven't been following the Newcastle manager news, Conte and Zidane basically turned it down because they were waiting on the United job. So we're basically just a ticking time bomb for Ali, just waiting for Ali to screw up just enough to get the sack, and we'll have to see how it goes. I'm excited with the game, of course, but I do think best interest long term. Maybe it's best if we take an L and Ali can move on.
that's the
It's a
thing though.
shitty
Like
feeling,
I
but
said,
yeah,
even if we took an L this weekend, I'm not gonna celebrate it. Obviously, I mean, like if we get the sack, that's the only thing I'd celebrate. But I'm not gonna celebrate us losing to Liverpool because I know it will take
yeah,
a loss to City. It's gonna take a
yeah.
loss to Spurs, and then probably it's gonna be out. And like I said, when you have a team like ours, realistically, you're not gonna lose every game because, like I'm gonna get into the Bruno Fernandes comments because Bruno said it. When you have teams like us and you have players who want to play for this team, they want to be knocked out of Champions League. They don't want to be out of top four. They don't want to be out of the race for the Premier League. They are going to put in a shift, and I don't think that they necessarily disagree with Hardy, because I think it's just like it's one of those situations where it's like you could have your favorite teacher at your school doesn't teach you well enough. You're not getting the best grades, but you love him. He gives you the free periods. He does. He lets you ease, but like at the end of the day, you still want that A. You don't like school or anything. You still want an A at school. But that teacher's just not going to get you to that A point. So I don't think it's going to be a situation where they're going to necessarily down tools and everything. But yeah, I think it's going to get to a point where we're going to have to find out what's going to happen. And I just worry for the sake of United because we're seeing standards drop. We see people like Gary Neville lowering their standards. Some people in the fan base, Ollie's saying, things like it's not nice to hear the crowd boo because we should all be cheering at United, but like why should we be cheering if you're not getting results at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So I think the fans have been on your side, Ollie, for a long time. I don't think they're not even completely off your side at the moment like us. Those fans who go to the stadium will back you. They will sing Ollie is at the wheel until you are gone. But that's just how we are. I think that's just how the fans will be. But yeah, very interesting, very interesting. But yeah, like anyways, moving on to some interesting comments from Bruno Fernandes. I believe it was after the Atalanta game that he said all these things. So he said to TNT Sports, I think he said it. He said, of course, obviously he's our coach with regards to Oli. We follow him every day. We show that we follow his ideas, and we'll continue to do so. He was asked about the other players behind Solskjaer. That was the question. So he said, yeah. So he said, just to reiterate, of course, obviously he's our coach. We follow him every day. We show that we follow his ideas, and we will continue to do so. Right? Nothing out of the ordinary there. Nothing wrong. You would expect that from Bruno. You'd expect that with the way that they reacted.
I sense a but.
Yeah, but there was a but. He said we believe in our coach and our staff. We need to do what the coach tells us because our coach is the maximum exponent of what we must respect. He has been here for 3 years and we've done good things. It's true that we haven't won anything up to now, but the team has shown it has grown a lot. We have a lot to improve on, and the coach also knows that there has to be some improvement at their end, but that is part of football. Now, if that were it sounds like something easily swept under the rug, and I think that's why it is swept under the rug. But that last comment, that there is things to improve on, and the coaches know that it's also on their part to make sure that there's improvement on. That's clearly a subtle way of Bruno saying they need to wake up, they need to do better, or they need to make a change. We're not going to throw them under the bus or anything, but they need to improve their side of the football. And like I said, I think that Atalanta game was the team playing for the team. Bruno said the team was going to play for the team for the sake of their pride. They want to play Europa League football. But yeah, Clay, I think Malota lagged out. What do you have to say about that comment? Right at the end, that little part at the end, I would say is the most interesting because to me it seems a bit like a shot fired.
Disagree with that is just because Ali has come out and said like we've got a lot of work to do on the training ground. We've got a lot to improve on. He said stuff like that. He said we've got to take a step forward. So I don't really think it's quite a shot fired, and I can understand why it's been swept under the rug. There's been a lot of comments just saying that Ali has recognized that there are issues and that he wants to resolve them despite not making any attempts to do so, which is a completely different story, obviously. But I don't know, maybe it is a bit of a shots fired in the fact that Ali hasn't quite gone and just changed it and tried to be better, and he's still stuck to his stubbornness. He's gone back to his McFred, he's gone back to just his counter-attack long ball. And I don't know, maybe the players are getting upset with it. They are getting upset that like they feel that the promises are unmet. That could maybe be the bit of a call out there. But I don't think it's anything that I can go, yeah, he definitely meant something like a bit malicious in that. And
yeah, I don't think Bruno would have meant it malicious. Some would say, obviously Bruno English isn't his first language as well, so.
Yeah, and I think he said that quite eloquently. Like when you listen to like Paul Pogba's comments after the Leicester game, you could hear there was something
was different. I don't know what the tone
completely different. And even just what he was remarking at was a lot more specific and a lot more just, yeah, we need to get better. This is not okay. Versus Bruno just, yeah, we're looking for constant improvement. And that's just a positivity thing, So I don't think it's anything negative. I don't think it's anything we can look in and go, yeah, he's getting the sack, he's lost the players. I don't think it's anything like that just yet.
Because he said, like I said, I'm just reading this over and over again. We have a lot to improve on, and the coach knows that. So, he acknowledges that. And there has to be improvement at their end. But that's part of football, So, yeah. But, I don't know. You can read whatever you like to. Some would say it might be lost this way, it might be this for the reason. But yeah, Malota, you're back. Did you hear what Bruno said? Well, the coach?
I didn't hear the but. Okay, I missed the but.
Well, the but was basically, we have a lot to improve on, and the coach also knows that there has to be improvement at their end, but that's part of football. Now, how would you interpret that, yourself?
No, from the beginning, like I kind of feel like in the past when we had comments about Ole, it's just been positive. Yes, it might have been he's growing as a manager, but you could hear it's positive. Now it just kind of sounds like he's saying, he's the manager, we got to follow him because he's the manager, and that's just how it works in football. And does kind of sound like he's voicing frustrations, that, yeah, we need to be winning things, and we're not winning things, so something has to change. So, yeah, no, Bruno does seem like he's getting some doubt. Some seed of doubt.
Yeah, that's I kind of felt like that as well. But yeah, that's what I thought that was interesting from Bruno Fernandes today. But moving on to this massive game, guys, Liverpool. You know, does anyone feel confident about this game? To be honest with you, do any of you, regards to Malota and Clay, any of you feel confident about this? Because logically speaking, I am shitting myself for this game. We are versing Prime Mo Salah. We are versing a Jurgen Klopp. We are versing a fully fit Liverpool side. I'm very worried for the sake of it. And this is a Liverpool side that don't want to lose because they're challenging for a league title this season. So how are your initial feelings heading into the Liverpool game?
I think he just like that at that time. Oh, maybe not.
Maybe
What
not.
did you hear?
We can see you, but I don't think you can hear. So yeah, so Clay, maybe you just speak while Malota comes. Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I think this is kind of that game where I can look at it and go, "This is a coin flip at just what United turns up today," and it could genuinely go either way. I wouldn't be surprised by that. And again, Mo Salah's in form. We're not keeping a clean sheet. We haven't kept a clean sheet all season. And Prime Mo Salah is going to have a field day against this shitty ass Luke Shaw at the moment. So I definitely see them getting goals. It's just a matter of we turn up in response. That's the only thing. If the players can turn up on our side to play our second half FC after trailing 5-0 from Salah's 5 goals, I think we have a response in us. We know we do. That's just our style of play, and it can work very well against Liverpool. And it's how most teams would play against Liverpool in general, and where they find the most success. It's how Villa played against them when they won 7-2. It's how Watford beat them last time. Obviously, this time it didn't work, but counter-attacking is a big weakness on big teams, and we play like a small team, so we have the quality of players of Cristiano Ronaldo versus just Saw and Dennis. It's quite the difference in quality. So we're going to dominate them.
Liverpool have been chipping in goals as well. So I think as
Yeah.
much as they're firing on all cylinders going forward, they have been a bit shaky at the back. But I just think one thing's for sure, we ain't keeping a clean sheet this game.
Yeah.
I think that's for certain. It's just about whether or not some would say even if United score first, we're probably in more trouble. Some would have actually preferred let's be 1-0 down, let us go chase the game, because then we could actually play our better football that suits our players and hopefully get a result. But yeah, Malota, how are you feeling heading into this game?
Yeah, no, I'm not said it once himself that when a team like with their quality parks the bus, it makes it near impossible to break them down sometimes. And he was saying he's frustrated that we've never given him a game. He was like, ever since he's come to the Premier League, Wall has been very defensive, and yeah, and it's always that game. It's always that game.
Yeah,
Only like
it's hyped up,
I think
and it's dead.
No, but I feel like we're never really positive in this game. Like I remember, I think the only positive game we've played against Liverpool in recent history was the 3-2 win in the FA Cup, where Bruno scored the free kick. But beside that, we always seem to be very negative, And I guess it's out of respect for Liverpool because they're such a good team. But at the same time, we should be saying, why can't we play like them, Why can't we go toe-to-toe with them and it be like when they versus Man City, And we not rely on the counter. So those are questions faced at Ole. But come this weekend, it's a tricky one because we want Ole out. So maybe we should scrutinize the football. But it's Liverpool. Who wants to lose to Liverpool? Like, we don't want to lose to Liverpool. And I think it's the one game where I can accept the park the bus and counter, because I do think with the way Liverpool are playing now, if we try to go head-to-head with them, we shall get smacked. We will get smacked. So I think we can really exploit them with Rashford back, with the pace on the counter, having Cristiano Ronaldo. I
actually don't know what his injury update is. Do you guys know?
No, I know. So he's fine. He's fine.
He's fine. Okay, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I think on the counter we can be lethal with Rashford. I guess with Mason as well, But I think Clay said it, and that I do think we will concede goals in this game, and that's the problem. Like, you can't go in a game with McFred and Victor Lindelof and Maguire and expect to keep a clean sheet. I know we did it at Anfield last year, but we did it because we were so negative to a point where even our attacking players were just all behind the ball. Pogba was playing on the right. It was just a horrible game. But if we want to be effective on the transition, we're going to have to be effective on the transition, but also try to be extremely good defensively. So it's going to be an interesting game.
I think so. Well, I'll tell you what, it'll be unbearable in one way. The worst thing that could happen is if we lose to Liverpool and Ollie still doesn't get the sack for me. That'll be the worst, because then I have to deal with my dad, I have to deal with the friends. It's not going to be a happy week for me, I'll be honest with you. So, I'm looking for the limelight in this game. Usually I'm so up for it. This time it's like, I've always accepted my defeat. I know Liverpool are so much better than us, that I'm like, just come, smack us. It is what it is.
So, to these guys, to
Yeah,
be
that's
honest.
the
Yes,
thing,
we
it's
lost
a-
them
it's a
last
derby.
season.
Form goes out
we
the
lost them
window,
last.
everything changes. So.
Yeah, and we lost them when they were champions. But generally, it's a very tight game.
And I think the worst thing is like I'm not even not confident because of our quality of players. Our quality of players, well, you'll see in the combined 11, is up there, if not better. You know how much better I would have felt if we had Klopp on our side. If we had the coaches of Liverpool on our side. I would be saying we're gonna go smack Liverpool. Imagine Ollie was coach of Liverpool, that Liverpool side, and we had Jurgen Klopp here at United. It'd be a completely different story. I think that's the only reason that I'm not feeling so up for it. But anyways, in terms of the game plan, I think we all know what it is. It's at Old Trafford. You would like to see United attack. Some would say that, actually for this game, this is not a team that you want to go head to head. It's not a team that you actually want to attack because they're good enough to deal with it and they're good enough to attack you back, So head to head, it will be tough. It'll be a great spectacle for neutrals, but it'll be very tough. I think Ollie definitely won't do that knowing the circumstances. So you will be defensive, you will counter, and with Liverpool,
Honest,
it's not going to change. High press, high intensity, all out attack,
to be honest, someone might argue even for the best teams, it's a bit stupid because Liverpool are just that good. Like we see Man City. Man City are the best of the best, but come Liverpool, it's going down. Remember that one season where Pep just wasn't having it anymore. He was very defensive, and then Mahrez missed a penalty, and it was no. So yeah, this is the one game where you can say, okay, our playing style is acceptable.
I was actually going to say that just after you finished, because I was going to say, the irony is Liverpool are going to come at Old Trafford. They're not going to change the way they play. They have a style of play. They're going to stick to it. Ironically, we actually have a style of play, and it only suits very few games. And this is one of the games where we know what we're going to do. We know what we can do. And like I said, if Liverpool also are not careful, they will get hurt. They can get hurt. As equivalent as we can get hurt, they can get hurt. But yeah, Clay, do you expect any tactical genius to happen from Ollie? He's gonna be like, he's gonna play 4-2-4, he's gonna play 4-3-3, he's gonna do something crazy, he's gonna come out, he's gonna show us all the whole world how he's the manager of United. Or you actually think it's just you're gonna be like what Malota and I said, sit back, counter, Liverpool gonna do their thing, let's just see what happens.
You know what? Ollie can do whatever the hell he wants, and I still believe it would be negative and we would be sitting back and countering. I genuinely don't care what he changes at this point. It's way too late, and the fixtures are terrible to do so. We were saying this last season, even at the beginning of this season, this is when we should be experimenting with tactics. This is when we should be experimenting with tactics. And we never did. And we just kept with McFred, and we just counted the shit out of teams because we have high quality of players who produce moments of brilliance in those moments. And that's just how Ollie wants to play. And I've come to terms with it. It's been 3 years. He has not changed this. He has not adapted. The only thing he's done is shout a little bit and say, just go attack. This is for our lives. That's all he did, really, last night. So I really do think that any changes will be so minute. If it's just a formation, the overall system's going to be the same. It's still going to be counter heavy. It's still going to be very long ball heavy.
Backfire.
So he can do whatever he wants, honestly. And again, like we've said before, we're very good against the big teams for this reason. Because we are, well, the way we play is how a small team plays against these guys. We all give them all the ball.
Except the difference is now, our pawns on the
Now
chessboard
it's Katanga.
is ridiculous compared to the likes of Stoke and Burnley.
Literally.
So
You
That's
know,
def-
I think the biggest problem with all his tactics is that it's just too one-dimensional. Because as much as you can always base your style around one thing mostly, but then it must be completely that. Because you look at Liverpool, their MO is how high they press and how quickly they move the ball. But they can't do it for 90 minutes. No team can, you know. So they will do it in phases. With us, it's counter-attacking or bust. It's nothing else. So that's the problem. I remember
worldy.
when
That's
was
counter-attacking was so worldy. We don't have any style.
or
yeah.
it'll be like that. Or if we go 1-0 down, then it's like, you know what, Ollie's like, we might as well just full send it, and then all of a sudden the team looks fantastic. So yeah.
True. But I remember when we drew with them at Old Trafford when they won, and Adam Lallana scored because Rojo was, I don't know, marking air
I
again.
remember. I instantly had a bad flashback on it.
Yeah, I remember that game. Counter-attacking, we were brilliant for most of it. But then because you can't do that for the whole game, one, and two, Liverpool won't just keep letting you do it. They're going to change some things around. We couldn't do it effectively anymore. Then 10 men just went behind the ball, and then Liverpool just kept coming, you know, and then we drew because of that. So it's the dimensions, you know, and Ole, I would work on in this before this game. We know how to counter attack. That's fine, but let's work on retaining the ball. You know, at times we're gonna need to just hold the ball because we're just running down time. You know, this is how it is. You know, we're managing the game, and those are the little things I would work on to see the game through.
I think we have the worst ball retention in the Premier League, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Our team. So
Terrible.
that's a struggle. And we're gonna do it against Liverpool. Doesn't sound like a good plan. However, though, now that I'm saying about it, I've been thinking about the last few games where we played Liverpool. And I've actually been more disappointed of Klopp's side, you know. I'd always expect Klopp to come out more. But then, like you said, Klopp isn't a stupid man. We know that. He's probably one of the best managers in the world, if not the best manager in the world. Maybe he also thinks, you know, I don't want to give them the privilege of us attacking them at their home ground for them just to come sit and counter-attack and get a result, you know. So maybe Klopp would be thinking, I'm going to do something different. Because every time we played Liverpool, it hasn't been that madness, you know. That thumping hasn't come. That thumping hasn't come. It's been dead. Nils, 1-1s, dry football.
I think,
Valuable.
especially at Anfield, I think they try. They really try. But like, if there's
Yeah, but
10
that's
men
the thing.
behind
If
the
it was at
ball,
Anfield, I think it'd be different. Now it's at Old Trafford, so
um,
I don't
true.
know.
I think they try their best, and of course at Old Trafford away from home, they will always tweak it. But I just think, you know, as much as we hate McFred, you know, when they are all on it in Ole's eyes, when they are on it, it can be very good defensively, but then going forward in transition is very weak. So I do think Liverpool will, especially in this game, I think Liverpool will come at us. I think they're gonna give us
you should.
everything.
I think if Klopp did it, I think this is your best shot. Because I think, you know, a thumping is on the wall. Yeah. It's written on the wall. Yeah, so.
To be honest, honestly, I think we can win this game.
I also think so, but I'm just saying, if Klopp is serious, he could thump us. If I was Klopp, I wouldn't have that mentality. Like, I'm gonna give them.
I guess.
benefit of the doubt. I would go in for the kill. I'm talking putting 5 past us. You know.
Yeah.
So,
But like the United players always turn up for this game.
yeah, exactly. That's why I said.
And
Scott
he's gonna
McTominay
score
he's gonna cash in the 10 out of 10 performance this weekend, Scott McTominay. I'll be very disappointed in you, Scott, if you don't turn up for this game, you know. But yeah, it just leads on to the next thing I was going to talk about, which is this team, starting with David De Gea. Yeah, no, let's move on. Next time, backline. Luke Shaw's going to play. Varane's not back, I believe, so Maguire.
There's no chance for Varane to be back.
No,
Not at all.
no, sadly not. But yeah.
When is he due back exactly? Do you know?
Well, they said 1-2 weeks, so I don't know. You could miss the hard games and then come back afterwards, which is not ideal, but yeah, we will have to see.
I consider buy, not lie.
In a logical person, you know, with the pace, you'd say yeah, maybe. For who it should be, I leave that up to you guys. We all know who it should be for us, but yeah, backline's gonna be that. No doubts in Ollie's mind. I don't think this team is gonna change. McFred's gonna come in. Bruno is there because of Bruno. Back 5 is the only thing he might do.
He's done it before against Liverpool.
Yeah, that is the only thing I would consider other than that team on my left. But I would say people like Sancho should be playing. You know, he's your 74 million pound right winger, and you're not going to play him against Liverpool. Paul Pogba, a big game player, a guy we want to give £500,000 a week to. You're not going to play him in the biggest game in the league. That's what I would be asking questions of Ollie, you know? Why are you picking this team when you have people like Sancho and Pogba on the bench? Like, what are you doing there, you know?
probably the game try to get the best out of Sancho. It's a big game with a lot of space. Just throw him in there. He's a talented player, and I think he'll respond.
Yeah, and Greenwood hasn't been in good form, but I think this will be the team. Do you guys see anyone changing from this team?
This is the team, mate.
This is
Yeah.
definitely
The thing is, when Oli gets results, he sticks with this team.
that's true.
Especially when
That's
he's looking for results. You win a game, you're not going to see a change.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless an injury comes, obviously.
That's what I'm saying. But should he not be scrutinized though for not picking Jadon Sancho, for not picking supposed a guy who wanted to give 500 grand a week to Paul Pogba? You imagine how Paul Pogba would be feeling if he's left out of this game.
Yeah, he's not going to sign.
Exactly.
Paul's not going to sign if that
So-
happens.
That's what I'm saying. Oli, regardless, I think this is a big game, and that's where the things like when Fabrizio said that this game has a huge impact on Oli. That's when I started to think, you know what, it might be onto something for Fabrizio when you look at it at that point of view. It's like you're not gonna play Pogba, you're not gonna do this. If you play horrible football and if you don't get the result, you might be in trouble. And the fans, and ironically, the fans aren't as happy as I thought they'd be. Lots of them are. They like Scholes. Scholes said, "What is there to be happy about?" If you play like that against Liverpool this weekend, is what Scholes said, you're not gonna win. So, yeah.
Look, as much as we hate this team, every time he's in the corner, he goes back to this team, and he does seem to get results, even if it's ugly. He does seem to get results. So I think it goes back to what I was saying the other day. Why is then Paul Pogba still at this club? If you know that your mold is this one, you should work on making your mold better. And that's selling Paul Pogba and bringing Declan Rice, and that should have been done in the summer. So Ola needs some balls. Honestly, he needs to make decisions that suit what he thinks is best for the future.
Yeah.
I don't want that, but that's what I said. I don't trust what he knows what's best for the future. So, yeah, we're gonna have to see what happens. But anyways, I'm not gonna raise the board because we can do our combined 11. So I'm just gonna keep it in there for the team sheet. So let's get into score predictions before we do the combined XI. I'm gonna go first once actually. I think, logically speaking, a thumping has been on United's wall, written on the walls for a long time. Now I don't think it would be this game, but for the sake of being different, I think Liverpool are going to thump us. If they play to their expectations, I think Liverpool are going to thump us. I don't think we're even going to get a goal. I don't think we're going to get a sniff. I think if we are not on it, if these players decide, what, today's the day, I'm downing tools, whatever. Good night, Ollie. Good night, United. Prime Salah. And, I'm going to say 5-0 to Liverpool. Yep. Thumped.
I don't know. Say after that. How am I supposed to follow that?
Yes, you're gonna have to follow now because Mulatto is there.
How am I supposed to follow up? Surely saying we're going to get thumped 5 bloody 0.
Mulatto,
Excuse me.
if you did hear what I said, boy, to give you the heart attack, I said Liverpool, I expect them to play to their potential. I expect Prime Salah. I think this could be the game where it could be truly the end. And I said 5-0 to Liverpool.
Yep, there you go.
Yep.
Are you serious? Or are you just taking the
No,
piss?
I'm not taking the piss. I think a thumping is written on the walls if it plays to the plan.
What are we doing? Are we giving predictions now?
Before the
Okay,
combined.
now I'll go. Not 5. I don't see it, to be honest. I think
No,
I
yeah,
think as much
realistically,
as-
this game's have been dead. It's been 1-0.
Let me
It's
No.
been 1-1.
let me give you guys the heart attack. I think this is the bounce back.
The
classic Ole bounce back. I think this is it. And I think we're going to play very defensive and be good on the counter. I think these players are going to turn up. And
5-0 United.
hey, I'm going for a shock 2-1 win for Manchester United. Here.
Damn. Not a 5-0 United. That would have been interesting. I tell you what, that would have put me in the grave if you said that one. Alright, click
You know
that
what?
boy.
Yeah, this is difficult. And, yeah. You know what, I think I'm hearing something in my ear here. Bear Cantona is giving the score prediction.
Very Cantona.
On my behalf for
Very
today.
Cantona.
Yeah, he's saying there's going to be a couple goals.
Couple goals,
Mane
nice.
and Salah are good form, even Firmino apparently.
Yeah, hat-trick. Firmino got
Yeah, he's got a hat-trick
Yeah.
recently. So we're going to go with 3-4 Liverpool.
3-4. Darn. Ronaldo
I think
hat-trick.
our defense is wide open, in all honesty.
Yes.
And it's going to be tough, but knowing Oli will bounce back somehow, and we realistically somehow close this out. I think 3-4-3-3 is where my head's at. I don't know why, but I just
So
see
that,
Liverpool scoring a shit ton, and we're gonna bounce back and match it because that's Ali. That's straight Ali.
to all the viewers watching this,
Yep.
1-1 is the score prediction. We
Yeah.
only won it left. Yeah. We will give the
Yeah.
5-0 to Liverpool. Said 3-4, and then we'll to the 2-1. It's 1-1 on this weekend. We check you.
You're
We
gonna
check you heading into City.
Dude, we're gonna score first. Old Trafford go
If
mad.
we score first, we're in trouble. I don't want to score first. If we
Listen.
score first, we're in trouble.
Old Trafford will be mad, and then Liverpool gonna equalize in like the 70th minute. Usually that would the end of it. But the thing is, we've got Ronaldo now. So like the 80th minute,
Hey, I tell
2-1
you,
win.
I tell you.
Haaland saved.
If Ronaldo does the madness and he does get the win, I'm gonna be shameless. I can't lie. I'll be singing all over my dad. I'll be there. He will not hear the end of it for the whole week. Even if it kept Ollie in the job, my dad will. I'll make sure my dad will be suffering. Trust me. If we win this game, Ollie's in the job, so I suffer. But I'll make sure you Liverpool fans suffer. You know. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see what happens. But anyways, yeah. Hopefully it lives up to the hype for once this game. You know, hopefully it lives up to the hype. But yeah. Let's see what happens this weekend. It's always interesting. It generally is always dead. So 1-1, 0-0, 1-0 win or 2-1 nicking could happen. You know, realistically. So yeah. Moving on to what I think would be very interesting is our combined 11. I've seen a lot of combined 11s. Certain men like Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, who I don't understand how
Rubbish.
they get a paycheck for those
Rubbish.
combined 11s.
I saw one of theirs. I don't know if it was Neville with no Ronaldo. Like I
Yeah.
almost threw something at the screen. it was green with up front. The madness.
No, that's Jamie. That's Jamie Carragher's on.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm saying. How they got a paycheck? I don't know. The first thing I'm gonna do. The first thing I'm gonna do is change the midfield because we're not gonna play all these 4-2-3-1. We're playing 4-3-3. So you know how it is. We're playing 4-3-3. We'll go one there.
Oh, you've got to be kidding.
We'll go one there. We'll go one. You know how we do. And then, you know the people are driving there next to you, so don't worry. They're gonna give their thoughts also. Anyways, starting off in goal. David De Gea. I think he's way better form than Alisson. I think he's always been better than Alisson, to be honest with you. I've always thought Alisson's overrated anyways. So for me, one vote, David De Gea.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely David De Gea. Like Alisson, who man's making mistakes. Like he's been better this season, but then he's been sus from time to time with how he comes out of the ball and tries to be a MacGyver. But beside that, I think David De Gea is a better shot stopper in my opinion. And yeah, David De Gea all the way.
I would argue David's better at distribution than Alisson even. I think Alisson's dog.
This season is David's been on point. What has David De Gea done wrong this season? He's done nothing wrong.
I don't think Alisson's distribution's good. I genuinely don't.
I don't rate Alisson in general. So.
I don't rate him in the slightest. I think he's way overrated. He's a mid-level Premier League club keeper.
Yeah.
At best. Like, I would argue Jose Sar's better than him. Genuinely.
Like, I think the piss a little. I take the piss a little.
I prefer not
But I think...
Yeah. That's great.
No, I'm just going to say I prefer not to.
Yeah. I don't rate Alisson at all. He's on par with those keepers.
Yeah, my luck. Alisson's turning to Prime Day this weekend. So
I think he has like ridiculous.
I think all he's really good at is the ball at his feet. Besides that, his shot stopping is alright. It's better than Carragher's, I guess. But it's nothing special.
I've seen the ball get taken away from his feet multiple times, Alisson. So no, I would disagree with that immediately.
I've always said that unless Alisson had that centre backs in front of him, he'd be exposed. And last season he didn't, and he got badly exposed. This season, those centre backs haven't been really on it, and he's still getting exposed to an extent. He has been better this season, but I think if you're a Liverpool fan, you're gonna choose Alisson. As a United fan, we're gonna choose De Gea. So
I have no respect for Alisson, and again, I think he has like really good reflexes, but De Gea is really good. Like they're known for his reflexes. You know, it's the same sort of player, and I think De Gea has been so much better this season. Yeah. Definitely this season alone.
Yeah.
Haven't kept a single clean sheet. This man's been man of the match about 4 times this season.
Yeah. Yep. Well, there we go.
Been insane. No contest.
David De Gea gets him to go. Then moving on to left back, which is very interesting because you know my dad doesn't respect us at all whatsoever. He does somehow love Luke Shaw though. My dad for some reason thinks he's our best player. He can do it all. And you know I would have agreed with him. You know last season, if you're asking me this, Luke Shaw was clear of Robertson. At the moment, I don't think they both are anywhere at the standard that they should be. I think Robertson is nowhere near he could be, and I think Luke Shaw is nowhere near he could be. I do think Luke Shaw has an injury though. Robertson, I believe, did have an injury, but I just feel like Robertson also, it's been a hit and miss. So for me, I don't really know, but I watch more United, and I can tell you right now that Luke Shaw hasn't really been there. So I'll probably give it to Robertson for now.
I'm assuming Malot is gone, so.
Yeah.
I just want to check this real quick. So I think Robertson may actually have assists this season already.
He might. Well, the only assist Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's got 2 assists actually. Not in the league, but like overall. He got 1, 2, both for Ronaldo. One on his debut.
Yeah, Robertson's got 1 in the league.
One in the league. So same as Luke.
Yeah, but I besides last season, Robertson's better than Luke Shaw, definitely, and I will definitely give my vote to Robertson. Okay. I don't think Shaw's been anywhere near good enough, and the quality of left back of Robertson is insane.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to give it to Robertson.
Well, there we go. I think if you asked us this last season, though, I think Luke Shaw would have gone in.
Yeah, definitely.
I think even this season it could be a coin flip, to be honest, between Robertson
and I think Robbo at his worst is still better than Shaw at his worst. Like, definitely, like a step up.
I think so.
Robertson's
right now,
calm. Yeah.
At this moment of time, I don't think there's much between.
The peaks are very similar, though, I would say. Yeah. They're both world-class fullbacks, and on their day, they can be one of the best fullbacks in the world. There's a case there. There's definitely a case there.
Right.
But Robbo, more consistent. Yeah.
First centre back.
You get them both, because we're not talking...
Let's get them both out there. Let's get them.
Yeah, get them both out. We're not even.
Right, let's get them both out there. Moloto, we know that you will probably come back at some point, but I can tell you now, Moloto's not going to disagree with this. Right, number 1 is Van Dijk. You know, we have to get Van Dijk. So let's just get that out. Right, let's just get Van Dijk.
Yep.
Van Disney. We'll get Van Disney left. Let's put the Disney. Gotta sleep him still. Put Van Disney. And then who other than Champions League Varane? Whether he's injured, he's playing on one leg, he doesn't have a leg.
Remember if our point was injuries or not?
What?
I don't remember. Did we include injuries before?
Usually, it's good. I'm gonna make an exception this time. Usually we say whoever's injured we don't include. We're gonna assume everyone's. We're gonna assume everyone's. Yeah. So, Varane walks into this team. Otherwise, it's late for us. It is proper late for us. But yeah, Varane.
Yes, we have to play Matip and Van Dijk otherwise.
Yeah, so it's late either way. So I think Liverpool fans would want Varane to be fit for the sake of this. So yeah, I think Varane comes in. But also just disappeared there quickly as well. So there we go. Those are the centre backs. Right back pairing. Yeah. I know I'm gonna get outvoted for this one, so yeah. You're gonna vote for Trent, aren't you?
I'm more of an Aronson than a Trentham. I do think Trenton's gotten better. Like, he's improved his overall game. But I don't know. Whenever I've watched him, I've felt like he's a bit lost. I don't feel like he's getting that attack.
He doesn't defend. He's a right winger.
Even going forward, though. No, like going forward, I feel like he's been lost this season. I feel like, because like I watch him for fantasy reasons. I'm like, why is you not getting to a position where you would normally go into to get like a cross off to try get a header into the back of the box or something? You know, I just don't feel like he's himself going forward right now. So I think something's a bit off, but I do think he's become a lot more complete with his game. I do think he's been better defensively. I will say that, but he's definitely nowhere near Aaron.
What is it?
What's going on here?
Yes, it is. Yeah. We're moving on. So far to catch you up, put Robinson left back. Clay and I both voted for Robinson. I kind of said it's a coin flip. Then at centre backs we got Varane and Van Disney, and now we went to right back. But yeah, I didn't think you disagree really, unless you're gonna surprise me.
Robertson, nah, mate, nah. Robertson, I guess, in general, is a better player, but then I feel like we need to respect what Luke Shaw has done in the last few. Yes, I know the form has been a bit poor, but come on, Roberto Carlos. For me, it's Luke Shaw all the way. And then, yeah, you can't argue the two centre backs. I feel like you're crazy. This centre back pairing is absolutely amazing. And I wanted to ask, would you guys say this is better than Varane and Ramos? Or
this is the best centre backs you could probably get.
I think Ramos
is
I don't think DVD's back.
Yeah, I don't think this version is.
I think Ramos is probably still better.
But Ramos at the moment is also injured and dead.
Varane's ridiculous, and Van Dijk at his peak is pretty very good as well.
I've always said Prime Ramos and Prime Van Dijk. Well, Van Disney. Van Disney's got no chance against Prime Ramos. But at the moment, I wouldn't have any other centre back pairing than this probably. So
Yeah, basically.
I don't know, I just think Ramos is more of a leader and it's just more rugged. But in terms of raw talent,
if we talk about Prime Ramos, Van Disney can get in the bin. You can get in the bin for
I don't know about that. I think this pairing would be
this. But you,
one of the
Barca
best
fan,
we've
you got
seen.
scarred. I understand. You seen Ramos's hair in the 90th minute. You seen him take the shirt off. You seen the tats. You seen it's too much. I understand. Okay.
Yeah, well, we're cool because Ramos is the poor man's Puyol. You know?
No. Anything
You
Puyol
know.
has done, Ramos has done, and more. So
Ah,
we're talking about the best centre backs ever. But yeah, I think you'd be crazy to argue with this centre back partnership. So interesting enough, I'm very tempted to put my bias onto Shaw's side, and I think it's very, no one's gonna have it because lots of our fan base doesn't like Luke Shaw. But I'm also very tempted to put him there just because my dad voted for Luke Shaw. That's the only thing he told me, is that he would have Luke Shaw instead of Robertson because he's always rated Luke Shaw like me. So
Please call me when Robertson scores a goal in the World Cup final. Like I'll wait.
oh, the
I'll wait.
Euro final. Yeah.
oh, did he win that year? Did he win that year?
Nobody wins there.
Yeah, exactly. So
No, yeah,
again,
because what
I'll
it is.
this argument genuinely Prime Robertson versus Prime Shaw. They're both basically on the same level, but I think base Robertson's bigger than base Shaw.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why.
I think So I think it's just about that, and I'm trying to think majority of people, but they'd pick also would be Robertson, So
Yeah.
But I don't think there really is much in it. But yeah, it's right back. Like I said, I am Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well. I am a big Aaron. I've always said this, I would back Aaron. In terms of what I would like from a fullback, I respect Aaron very highly, and I would still pick Aaron Wan-Bissaka over Trent. The stick dude. I don't know. That guy is horrible at the back. He can't be trusted, fam. And going forward, if he's not on it, you're basically a man down at Liverpool. So, but I know I'm gonna get outvoted for this, so I'm just gonna keep quiet. You all know what I'm gonna vote. Maloto, what do you think? TAA, don't even hide it, boy. Don't be ashamed. Just say it's TAA. I know it, so we can write it on the board. We can move on.
Here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. Thing is, I would pick Trent because, as I've said, I want someone going
You
forward.
and
I think
90% of people will pick Trent easily.
Yeah. I want someone going forward, and I think someone going forward in the modern game for a team of this size, and that's the way to go. Playing with your fullbacks and all of that. But big buts. What's the name again? Wan-Bissaka and Trent are basically the same player, just like the opposite.
Yes.
Yeah, they're basically opposite of each other.
We've got the
Trent's
best
rubbish
attacking
defensively.
fullback in the world, and we've got
Yeah.
the best defensive fullback. So,
Yeah, so there's no objective argument to say that Trent is better based on that. And two, I'm a United fan, so screw it, Wan-Bissaka.
wait.
Don't have it.
So where was this Aaron Wan-Bissaka votes? Like the whole last 3 years, we've been doing that. Okay, you want clear?
Yeah, I was going to say, Aaron was like, you're listening to me rant for 5 minutes.
You
before
see,
my-
now I feel like I'm violating Liverpool fans. I feel like I'm actually violating them. They're gonna hate us. They're gonna hate us. No one's gonna agree with this. But I'm gonna put it in there just for the sake of our vote. Yeah. If anything, Liverpool fans are saying switch them. Put in Trent instead of Robbo. They'll probably say switch them. Like they don't
Right.
want Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They probably think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the worst fullback. Marcus, if you're watching this, I know you're putting out Jay because you highly respect Trent and you hate Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see. But yeah, I think that's it. Out fullbacks, it's not much in it at the moment. I think in their primes though, Trent would be clear, and I think Robbo probably is just edging clear. So I think both Liverpool fullbacks will get it. We're talking about the best they can be, So, but anyways,
Yeah.
right, who's Liverpool stadium? Who are we putting? We're putting Fabinho,
Fabinho.
or we're putting Fabinho.
Fabinho.
Yeah, I'm voting Fabinho as well.
Who else? Thiago? They're having a laugh, mate.
It's Fabinho or
It's
Henderson.
Fabinho. It's Fabinho.
Fabinho.
Slovenia. No argument.
Fabinho.
I'm with fact.
Yeah.
Right. There's no arguments there.
No argument.
There's no arguments here. It's Bruno and it's
No.
Pogba. Liverpool, you go shove up any other of your midfielders because your midfielders are crap. Buy your CDM. You crap. Okay. Pogba and Bruno are unbelievably clear. They walk in. I've always said this. They walk into any team in the world. These two walk into any team in the world. Whether you're PSG, Bayern, I don't care who you are, they walk into your team. So, yeah, no complaints. I don't think you guys have complaints. Nothing. Moloto also nothing. Okay. I think he's just laying out.
I've no respect for Liverpool's midfield, and I've said this time and time again. What Klopp has done to that midfield is unreplicatable. How he's gotten so much out of those shitty ass midfielders that offer nothing to the game in any way. It's fantastic what Klopp has done to those players. He basically took McFred and just made them good. I think under any other manager, those are very average mid-table players. They'd be playing for the Burnies, they'd be playing for the Wolves in any other universe, Southamptons. It's that kind of thing. Just how it is.
Even Liverpool fans, I was speaking to some of my Liverpool friends. They were saying that, I was like, to be honest with you, guys should. I don't even wouldn't play Thiago, and they were like, you know what? I agree with you. I understand where you're coming from, but our rest of the midfielders are so dead creativity. Like even if Thiago is bad, we're just gonna have to play him because we actually do need creativity in the midfield because they're so dead. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? It's just Klopp. I don't know what he has made that midfield into the biggest engine you can have, and he makes it work relentless.
Respect, yeah.
Exactly, respect only to Jurgen Klopp, But yeah, Pogba and Bruno walking to the team.
Yeah.
Moving forward, now this can be interesting. Where are we going to start? Where shall we start? Let's start.
Left wing.
Okay, let's start with left wing.
That's probably the most contentious one.
The most contentious one. Now,
I think that's
I
the
don't
most
even think it is. If I go ask all my Liverpool friends now or fans now, they all want Mane out of this football club.
I argue.
Hey.
I very much argue. Mane's hit form again.
You
Last
would argue.
4 games, he's
I'm
hit
telling
form
you
again.
now,
So
I
loving
asked
him again.
how many Liverpool fans asked yesterday? Because I was doing it before the combined 11. I'll check, yeah.
Last season, I would agree. I think Mane 100% fell off last season, but I think right now, with current form, there's definitely an argument to be had for Mane right now. I think he's found himself again this season, but last season, definite drop off. And a lot of Liverpool fans were even arguing for Mane over Salah at a point. Obviously, before last season, where Salah kept the consistency and Mane lost it. But right now, I think he's kind of found himself back in this team, and he's found a way to get the goals. He's found a way to get the results. And he's looking like himself again. So I would argue that him and Rashford are a lot closer than it seems right now.
Right. Now, as for Liverpool fans, all 4 of them wanted Rashford in this team over Mane. All of them said they would sell Mane if they could.
Yeah, there was a shitty last season. I understand it. I definitely get
But
where
every
they're coming.
time I've watched Mane this season, I want to rip my eyes out. I genuinely think Werner could have been better than Mane this season.
I think
That's
that
how bad
literally like the last 5 games, Mane's been scoring every game.
He has been, but
He's been outscoring Salah as well in the last 5.
Rashford has scored every game, so I would vote for Rashford. And I don't even respect Rashford. I don't even respect Rashford that highly, but I would vote for Rashford. And I think Mane is proper tragic.
I think Mane is definitely like one of the best African players to like ever play football. There's a conversation for that, and at his peak, I think Rashford's definitely like on that level, and just it's consistency wise, and I think they're basically a carbon copy of each other. If we're being honest, there's Mane and Rashford. So 9 times out of 10, I'm just going to pick my own player, but I'm just saying I think there should be an argument here. I don't want to completely.
But from what I'm hearing, there ain't no argument in this front line. So I'm gonna leave it for now. I'm gonna leave Rashford there.
Last season, I would agree with you.
So we'll wait
This
till
season,
Ronaldo's back if he comes back to see who's left wing. But I'll leave Rashford there for now, just in terms of the voting basis. Up front, you having a laugh. You guys having a laugh. It's the
It's not a discussion.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a discussion.
Exactly, Mo Salah, put him down.
And then also, right, we're having a laugh. There's no discussion. It's end of.
No, there's no discussion for these 2 positions. Firmino and Jota hold nothing to Ronaldo, and Salah is 10 times the player that Mason Greenwood is at the moment. Oh, that was very quick.
Perfect time.
Yep. Can't argue
That's
those
the
2.
Moloto way. As you can see, we have basically done it, but we have one talking point because we basically said Ronaldo's hands-on, Mohamed Salah's hands-on. They're probably the best players in the world. So, left wing though is the conversation to be had. Marcus Rashford or Sadio Mane?
Marcus Rashford, Sadio.
I also agree. I agree. So.
Oh, you guys haven't started voting.
No, we both. Clay said it's interesting because he thought Mane picked up
Yeah.
form the last few games, but I was telling Clay, like, ironically, I've been speaking to the Liverpool friends of mine and Liverpool fans, and they don't want Mane. They always said Rashford. So
Look, I think there was once upon a time where Man looked like a really, really good player.
Literally
Like,
last season, because last season he fell off. I would 100% say last season he fell off, and that there's a conversation for that. And just he was shitty last season completely, and he lost everything. But every season before then, he was consistent. He was neck and neck with Salah every single game. He was Liverpool's fan favorite, and yeah,
true. And
I think he's
I
getting
think
back.
even
Yeah,
even last season at times and this season, I think that why you put in club there? It's odd. Um,
again.
I think there's been times where he does take control and like look like a bit of the play he used to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he has a big shot, but Rashi. I know Rashi has questions, but Rashi scores the goals. Rashi just looks like he has so much potential, and I know we shouldn't be judging it on that, but I think you can't objectively say that Mane is completely better than Marcus Rashford, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go for Rashford.
yeah, I think so. Wow.
Yeah.
So.
The way I put it was, I think they're very similar players at the end of the day. They're basically the same. And when they're both scoring, they're on the same level. So I'm just going to choose the one that's out of my club, rather. So that's why I put Rashford, and Shoni just left it
I
at
think it's
Rashford.
the same thing like with the Aaron Basaka thing. I think the majority would actually vote for Trent, to be honest. But I think with us, the majority would vote for Marcus Rashford. Surprisingly, I don't know what it is. Liverpool fans love Rashford. I don't know what it is. I see lots of even like Liverpool
And
Twitter accounts. They
They see
just
Salah and
they
Mane in him,
love
literally.
Rashford. Yeah.
So what is they see Salah and Mane?
Ole wouldn't win the league with this team.
Yeah, Ali wouldn't win the league. I tell you, would win
What
the treble
dominate
with this
league.
team. It's Jurgen Klopp. Now, I'm gonna ask a question. Usually, I ask this question: is this team good enough to win? Of course, it's good enough to win the league. I'm gonna ask a different question: is this the best team in the world? I let you guys think about it. Is it the best team in the world of football?
I think in the right system it could be, but if we put Trent in there, I would probably say yes. If Trent was
That's
in
what I'm
that, because then
saying, though. It's like, how are we not
for,
putting Trent?
for the system, if we're playing system, I'm 100% putting Trent in. He's gonna
Yeah.
go in every single day of the week in a combined 11. If I'm
Let's
actually
just
gonna
put
play with
Trent
him,
in. Let's just put Trent in. I feel like we're doing
if I
we're
put
good
Trent in
with
there,
Trent. For
it,
unbiased reasons.
that's probably the best team in the world. They have a holding DM. They have two fantastic centre backs that can spray balls everywhere. They have overlapping full backs to allow for the underlaps and overlaps of Rashford and Salah to just create so much space for either Ronaldo or for themselves. So that probably is one of the best teams in the world. Genuine. I don't
Right.
think there's many better teams out there. Yeah. And
The
considering
only
90% of the fans are United, I don't know what the excuses are. I'm tired.
let's count it. One,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6. 6 players. Arguably a 7th with Luke Shaw, and an 8th with Wan Basaka.
Yeah.
And that just sums up how we've been feeling this whole season. That's why we're like, come on, Oli, what are you doing? This team should win the treble. We said this. We said it at the end of the season. Any competent manager, I'd be thinking, what? Why can't we challenge for the treble? Honestly, why can't we
I'm
challenge for
probably
the treble?
challenges for trouble with this team, honestly.
I don't know if he'll do it, but he might challenge.
You'll challenge for it. You'll
he'll
challenge
give
for
it
it.
a good try. He'll
You'll
give it
you'll
he'll
see
give it a
finals.
good try.
Oh,
Might take us
the
round of
league's the last day.
60. Champions League. It might take us like second
We're going,
place.
we're going to semis, we're going to the finals,
Yeah.
we're going to get these bronze
We
and
might
silver
not win
medals.
anything, but we'll be right there.
If Ali's assistant will push it over the line, because Ali will just give them the, you guys can do this, I believe in you, you guys are fantastic, yeah, and they go out there and
Honestly,
they get smashed.
in world football, I would only
No.
replace CDM is arguable. Like, if it's up to you if you want
I
to
think he
count
was one of the
Jay or
best, though,
that's the thing.
yeah.
He's one of the best. So we're gonna argue with the other best center CDMs in the world. So there's not much in
Yeah.
between them, to be honest with you. It's just so what you
There's
want.
not many
Then.
better players in any of those positions in world football.
Right back, I would like someone different over Trent, to be honest, because I just think Trent defensively is so shocking.
I do think he's gotten better, but he's still got way too many mistakes in him.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
So,
but So
Yeah.
I would change Trent. I think Robbo is the best of
Thing
both
is,
worlds. Just
when you
like
play a
Luke Shaw.
DM system, then you don't need to worry about your fullbacks
Yeah.
because then Varane will be playing right back basically and covering for that Van Dijk left back.
If Varane
Fab
plays
will
he can play the
centre
defense
back.
alone. He has played defense.
Yeah.
Van
So
Dijk can probably
again,
play defense
I
alone.
think so. When you're playing an attacking system, especially that front three, if you're not going to play creators,
The only
you need
problem, I was
overlapping
gonna say
fullbacks.
that's my other issue though, is that front three, as great as it is, as many goals as there could be there. Yeah, I don't know who's getting the ball there besides the fullbacks and the midfielders.
It's Trent and Robbo and
and
Bruno and
Pogba and
Pogba.
Bruno. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
side and
There ain't
cross.
no creative winger there. It's
Yeah,
just
no,
they're
there's
all three
no
gonna
creative.
be in the box.
Yeah, it's definitely it can be something that works, but obviously, like someone like
I
Klopp,
just think
he likes
it's too
who's
much.
going
Yeah,
to drop
it's too
that
much of a super
Martial.
team
Yeah.
than a balanced team. I think it's too much of a super
I don't.
team.
I kind of disagree. I think this could work very well. I think this could work very, very well in a lot of circumstances.
I would like a Sancho type player on the left. And
I would agree, but well, Sancho on
Give
the
me
right. I
you know
want a Sancho on the
yeah, well, no, then I'm gonna have to move Salah. No.
Oh,
Salah and Ronaldo's there.
yeah, that's the issue. I don't want Sancho on the left because he's just going to be a bad
That's what I'm
rash.
saying. A Sancho type player on the left.
Yeah,
So you know what we
just
do?
Sancho
Leeds,
type
you give
player.
us Rafi for however long. You just put him there, and then Rafi will do his thing,
Exactly.
and then we got the best team in the world.
Yeah,
But
then
other
there's
than,
everything.
other than
Any other-
Rashford, that I like Fabinho, you're picking between like 3 players, centre backs at the moment. I don't know who else you're gonna pick in the world, to be honest, in terms of centre backs.
Yeah.
Right back, you might get a Kimmich or something, or
Kimmich plays a DM role, so
yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
the
really
thing.
matter.
So, what else is there?
I'll take
Kimi
Babel.
for fullback.
Yeah, but that's just the fast strength. That's all that
yeah,
is.
exactly.
That's a fast strength.
Goalkeeper,
So,
when you have Day like this.
Yeah, there's
who
not a
do you
better
want?
keeper in the world when De Gea's like
When
this.
De Gea's like this, they ain't really same. And the manager, best manager in the world, in my opinion. My humble opinion at the moment, best manager in the world.
Not a better striker in the world.
Not a
And
better
unless you're
striker.
getting a creative left winger, there's not a better left winger in the world really, and not a better right winger in the world, hands down.
Yeah, I think this is your super team, and I think Gary Neville, shove it up your ass, your combined 11. Jamie Carragher, shove it up your ass, your combined 11. This, I think, is the most unbiased to the T combined 11 you can get. I don't know what you change. Really. Like, we even swapped out Aaron Bissaka. There is nothing you'd really change about this team. Nothing.
Again, there's a coin flip for Mane and Rashford, but 90% of people are going to choose Rashford, which is fair.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that I consider swapping in this XI. Like, no one gets over Ronaldo, nobody gets over Salah,
like,
nobody
the
gets
Liverpool fan
over
I wouldn't consider swapping anything.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's more than fair.
I think we're as unbiased as we always are with our combined 11 usually. Because usually we've had no shame. We've put in 10 Liverpool players. No shame. So there you go. That's been your match preview. Big game this weekend. I emphasize, if a little birdie came and told me Oli would get fired if we lost this game. Mohamed Salah this weekend. Oh, Mohamed Salah this weekend, please. But yeah, there's no guarantee in life. So ideally, what I would like is a Ronaldo hat trick, so I can see all over the house. I'll be seeing it, because regardless, the worst would happen. If we lose, at least please sack him for my sanity, because otherwise I'm gonna have my dad and I'm gonna have Oli at the job. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. Don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me. Just make sure one thing happens this weekend. Oli gets fired if we lose, or Ronaldo is doing the C, at Old Trafford. But anyways, it's been a good show. It's been a long preview, but like I said, it's a big one. This game is a big one. It means a lot. So smash a like, subscribe if you're new. Pray for Maloto. That his parents are. It's probably his Wi-Fi is getting smacked. His parents are smacking him. So he's not there. So yeah, we'll see you very soon.
He's sick, guys.
Exactly. Don't worry about him. I'm playing with him. It's fine. He's safe. Don't worry. Don't call anyone. But anyways, we'll see you this weekend, Sunday. And if we lose badly and Ollie's in a job, I ain't coming. I ain't coming anymore. I'm bringing tired. But I'll check you all this weekend. Hope you have a good Friday and rest of the weekend. And we'll check you on Sunday evening. Goodbye.